Aloha and welcome to Java. Thank you all for joining me. Today is Tuesday, it's July 23rd, 2024. I am so thankful for all of you being here. I just want to mention this. I appreciate you all every day showing up. And for that, I hope that you get something out of what I bring to you as far as my research. So, with this, we've got some big things happening today. Big news getting earnings from Tesla, and also Ethereum is upfront in the news because the ETF begins trading today. Got a few other things in the market, so let's get right into it. Starting with the risk, we've got the risk level rising. Now, not in a spike, nothing unusual or out of the norm, but we do have rising risk level 274.4 on the MMRI right now. More importantly, tied in with this, the 10-year yield, we've got the dollar gaining a good amount of strength. We had yesterday, the markets closed green, so much more deeply into the green territory. We've got more retailers pouring into the market again. So the markets, as we saw, closed green. Currently, stocks in the green territory, but so is the volatility index or fear in the markets, basically increasing. Futures are disagreeing with this green and showing there could be a little bit of trouble and volatility from midday towards the end. Right now, sentiment, not financial advice, any of this, but right now it's risk on returns. So what I'm doing for a lot of these, it's very stock specific. You have a particularly strong stock in a channel, you don't stand in front of a freight train. However, with these channels, if they go into resistance, it's I am selling the rips. However, silver is on the opposite order of that. Right now, it's looking to have a bullish setup. So as it's come down into the 20s again, it's very good price. I am buying the dips. So as it goes down towards the support level, I think it's very good price. For me personally, I love shopping for shiny things like this. So going into gold, also heading into heavy support level, could go down, looking at the 2300 level. However, it's got a very bullish setup and it's hitting very strong support, so could break out from here. We've got markets closing higher amid this upheaval in the presidential race is what's causing a lot of this. We've got cryptocurrencies. They hit basically a resistance level. They're pulling back a bit for now, but I expect them to go back up to that resistance level again. They've got pretty strong support and they could break through one of these times and head back above the 70s. So, calendar and earnings, really, we are looking at existing home sales for this morning. But one of the other things I put in here, now it's kind of an under the radar indicator, but we're looking at the 2-year note auction. Normally, everyone watches the 10-year yield, so that is kind of the benchmark for the markets. I'm looking at the 2-year because the yield curve inversion is the longest it's been in history. Now, not just for the United States, but also for several other debt nations. So, looking into this, we are watching that yield curve inversion. If it starts to unwind, that is typically when things really unravel. So, we'll be watching that today. Okay, earnings. Watching UPS this morning prior to market open, should be open any moment. That is, as I've said before, indication of the real economy, shipping goods and sending products. So that pulls back, we'll know kind of a good pulse as it is for the real economy. Apologies for the holdups, the haltings. So Lockheed Martin, another one that is war stock. Basically, they provide weaponry and logistics for all of the wars that the United States is involved with. So we've got before market open on Wednesday also General Dynamics. They are another one that is also war stock. So few others here watching, but let's go into what is going on this morning. So Ethereum, the ETF begins trading today. Could drive prices to new highs, according to Bitwise. Also BlackRock pushing into the ETFs. I don't like the ETFs. I would prefer to purchase the asset yourself instead of purchasing a note saying that you have a right to a portion of what the company owns, particularly BlackRock. So just purchase the asset yourself. Okay. Tesla, I want to touch on. As we're getting earnings, they've got some positive things. They're taking a lot of hits lately, but long term, yesterday it did show a lot of strength prior to the earnings, as I kind of expected. So, not certainty, only probabilities, but that one showed to be very strong and it's following through. So we've got Lockheed Martin. I told you about the war stock. General Motors came out pretty strong this morning, but they're having cutbacks in their EV numbers. So their stock is still having problems with that as well. CrowdStrike, I want to mention, people are asking if it's at a buy. I don't think so yet. It's showing some weak levels in the charts, and this is only the beginning. Now, if you don't know who they are the company basically responsible for bringing down the global IT on Friday. So the cost from the global outage could top $1 billion. I think it's much more than that. But the story is who pays the bill, harder to understand. Well, very clearly, companies have to cover themselves in the meantime. So they are basically doing everything they can to fix this. But House leaders already calling for their CEO to testify in Congress over this outage. I think it's only the beginning. There's going to be lawsuits, more callings like this. So that stock, I think, has some very volatile times ahead. So we did hear from UPS boosting the volume in the US for the first time, but the profit and revenue slide. So not good for the economy. This is showing we're heading back into basically a recession. Very clear signs we're in the recession now. If it goes deeper, it's going to hit depression levels, and they only measure that by time and depth of a certain statistics. But we're in this right now. We've also got this is from yesterday, the oil market in surplus. Oil is pulling back. It's got further to pull back. That's lack of demand, less production, and that brings prices down as well. More deflation, which is good price wise, but that means less jobs and less ability, less spending, less savings. So going into the recession slash depression phase. We've got Ryanair also, Europe's largest airline, saying airfares will be materially lower this summer. Well, they don't do this because they're good guys. It's because they're expecting much lower demand. So again, lower demand hitting this phase. So just to let you know, they're not going to call it this until it's passed. So watching that yield curve inversion, that's a sign that the deep part is about to happen. And all of this are signs that it's pulling back. We're in it now at the beginning phases. With this, BNY Bank wins Treasury's Direct Express benefits contract. So the banking system right now in a lot of turmoil. I'm telling you, many smaller mid-sized banks, and by the way, Ryanair, they're in Europe. The reason I bring them up is because this is global. It's not just the United States. So back to this banking contract. Bank of New York would gain this is quote unquote, free liquidity source of more than $3 billion in deposits a month and expand its offerings to the underbanked. So these are code words. Basically, they are bolstering everyone from the what we're going to call the lower class, because now we're going back to a class system in the United States and Western world that also includes illegal immigrants that are here, anyone that they can, trying to get them into roped into this debt phase. So the bigger stories behind it. This is basically quantitative easing and spending support for this bank. So it's a bailout. So it's got a pretty face. They're pasting over it, but that is a bank bailout right there. I don't normally get into politics, but the influence is so strong that I have to bring this up. So we've got the VP suffering double polling blow against the other runner for the other party. Right now, they're saying that basically she is the lead for this party. There could be a bait and switch. Other candidates coming out, she cannot win. They know that she cannot win. So this is a setup and a distraction, in my opinion. So with this, what is going on behind it, there's a larger story, but they're looking to the policy changes, as I said yesterday. So that's something interesting happen. We're getting more calls. This is from a prominent uh, lawmaker also demanding proof that the current administration is still alive and well. He has disappeared since stepping back, and the signatures were electronic, so there's lots of speculation with this. So leaving that aside, if one other thing I want to bring up, Bibi is coming to Washington this week. Now, this visit was set up a while ago. However, this is a fraught time, as this says, for Israel and the US. What to know about his visit? Well, the timing of it, first off, and what do you think is going to go on? So, we're going to keep an eye on this one because there is so much money pouring into the defense stocks, the war zones, the trade wars, and the currency wars that are going on as well. Now, keep in mind also, they had decided to put off their CBDC and waiting for the West. So I know all of these things will be on the discussion table and we'll keep an eye on that. So with this, I wish you all a wonderful day, green trading day. Until I see you again, my friends, stay free.